Introduction to Macro-Parametrics approach. Macro-Parametrics approach is used to exchange parametric information including design history of a CAD model by using a set of standard commands as a neutral format. The advantage of this approach is that it records design history of model which in turn contains design intent of the designer. In this short video, Macro-Parametrics approach is explained by exchanging a solid model between two different CAD systems. This is a solid model created in iCAD. We can see that the step file does not include the design history or details of operation performed to model this solid object. Same model is shown again. We can see that iGES file does not contain design history. Diagram shows architecture of a macro-parametric translator. Transfer of a CAD file using this translator is shown as follows. We can see that model has design history which was unavailable in previous models using STEP and iGES formats. This solid model in CAD system alpha that is NX is to be transferred to CAD system beta that is, let's say, CASHA. First, the translator brings information from the native macro file of the sending CAD system by using the macro parser for the sending CAD system, which is NX in our case. The information acquired in the previous step is mapped with TransCAD APIs using command mapping modules. By calling the APIs corresponding to the information, translator creates the same model inside the TransCAD. The mapped APIs are interfaced. In this step, the TransCAD APIs are called through the automation client module. For this process, the macro information is translated to automation API calls. Here we can see the internal geometric model which is generated inside TransCAD. This is TransCAD user interface and we can save this model as neutral macro file. Finally, when the translators request TransCAD to export the internal model as a XML macro file, TransCAD generates the corresponding XML macro file to translate a neutral macro file to the model of the receiving CAD system. The translator first requests the TransCAD to import the neutral macro file. Then, the TransCAD generates the internal geometric model. Next, the translator calls the APIs of the TransCAD to obtain information needed for the translation. And this information again is translated to the native macro file of the receiving CAD system by mapping the commands. Finally, when the receiving CAD system reads the native macro file, the parametric model is generated. In TransCAD, automation APIs, the neutral macro parser, and the user interfaces are used for interfacing with outside. The neutral macro parser is the module which translates the internal model of the TransCAD to the neutral macro file, or vice versa. And the user interface is added to the TransCAD for verifying and modifying the result of the TransCAD. The geometric modeling kernel is the module for Boolean operations, filleting, chamfering, and creation of shapes. This module is the core for managing the geometric and the topological data. The geometric constraint solver is also the core module for implementing the parametric function. As the commercial CAD systems use the parametric data which contain the geometric constraints, the geometric constraint solver is essential for treating the parametric data. Without this module, there are problems that the TransCAD generates the model of the different shape or the TransCAD cannot generate the CAD model correctly because of the tolerance. The feature data module is the data structure which is used in TransCAD. The feature data has the data which is used by the geometric modeling kernel, the geometric constraint solver and the TransCAD. The data is abstracted as the unit of the feature. Creation and modification of models in the TransCAD are conducted through the feature data. Various feature manipulation algorithms work by manipulating the feature data. For the easy implementation of the undo, redo, and the automation APIs interface, the feature manipulation algorithms are wrapped by the commands. Only for reading the feature data, it is accessed directly. Modification and creation of the feature data is conducted through the commands. TransCAD exports the internal model into neutral macro file at the end of pre-processing.